welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about tightlining your eyeliner, why to do it, how to do it. 90s friends, if you grew up in the 90s like I did, rejoice. This is a throwback to what we used to do in the 90s with a modern fresh take. So if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so that you get my ongoing tips. And if you decide to start your own beauty business with Mary Kay, I also have lots of tips for brand new beauty consultants too. Okay, let's talk about tightlining your eyeliner and what it is. So first off, if you were a 90s kid, rejoice. This is a throwback to our days in middle and high school when we used to line the waterline of our eye. And so this is kind of a newer take on a 90s trend. Now the difference is, back in the 90s, we either did I did silver eyeliner, or it was blacker than Satan's Soul and it was very heavy. So there is a modern take on it, which I will give you today. But it is essentially lining your waterline or the ridge leading right onto it versus lining the top of your eye here. And the reason you would want to do that, number one, it elevates your makeup look, but it looks natural, like it looks like, so this would be the second reason, is it makes your lash bed appear more full. So it makes your lashes look more full without having to apply extensions and different things like that. So definitely a hot trend right now. And there are some tips, especially if you are an oily gal and you're like, girl, my eye makeup already ends up all over the place. Like, why are we doing this? So I'm going to start with this. So first off, tightlining isn't something that I would recommend doing on a daily basis. Maybe just when you want to really elevate your look. I know some people, if you read about tightlining or, listen to different people talk about it, they're like, oh my gosh, it's so bad for your eye and whatever. It can be if you're doing it every day and you're not sanitary with your eyeliner. So I'm going to give you some tips on that. But it's completely fine as long as it's not something, you're doing 24/7 every day of the week, which I don't think you would anyway. I mean, who even wears makeup that often? I don't. And this is what I do. So, okay. So first things first, I want to share with you, I actually I have some Zooms and appointments and some deliveries and stuff today. So I wanted to elevate my look. So I thought I'd do this quick tutorial. But I just did some really fun eyeshadow. It's technically not eyeshadow. This is our bronzer that we have right now. And then this is a highlighting powder. So I just did some of the bronzer right here in my crease and on this outer corner of my eye. And then I took some of this, you guys, it's like a rose gold highlighting powder. It makes the best eyeshadow. And I just really popped it up on my lid. It's so pretty. It's like my Bronze Diva little look here. You could even do a little bit if you wanted to get fancy. You could do a little up here too, just to kind of highlight that brow bone. So that's what I did for eyeshadow. So I am ready to tightline my eyes. So first off, Mary Kay has lots of different eyeliner options. Okay, so we have pencil eyeliner. We have, which is like a self-sharpening pencil. And we also have a gel eyeliner and a liquid eyeliner. For this trend, you're going to go ahead and skip your liquid eyeliner because it tends to spread more throughout your eye, and that would definitely make doing this kind of trend unsafe. Also, the gel eyeliner isn't waterproof enough. So for today's trend, we're going to use Mary Kay's waterproof self-sharpening eyeliner. Okay, and what self-sharpening means is you can just you twist it up, you twist it down, you twist it up, you twist it down for this. So here's the scoop. I am holding two of our colors. So it comes in black, deep brown, or brown, steely, which is like a grayish black, and then we also have a blue. For this particular trend, I would highly recommend doing either the brown or the black. Now, how do you know which one to do? I would say if you're low contrast like me, meaning your skin and your hair are a similar color, you have lighter features, blonde hair, or gray hair, I would stick with the brown just because otherwise you're going to look straight out of the 1990s, which we don't want to do, right? This is the modern take on a 90s trend. And then, if you do have more high contrasting features like darker hair, or it's like an evening thing you're doing, you could definitely go black with this. So there is a little bit of prep with this. So one thing that you want to do, tip number one, is you want to make sure that your eyeliner is really sharp for this, because you don't want to have like a fatter distance going into that waterline. So what's neat about this eyeliner, okay, this is unsharpened. And I don't know if you know this, a lot of my customers do not know this, but when you buy a Mary Kay eyeliner, right, it looks like this with the cap on. If you pull this part that shows the color off, it's actually a little tiny sharpening thing. So what you're gonna do is you twist your eyeliner up, and then you take this thing and you just swivel it around. See how that just gave me a nice little point on there? You want to have a pointy point for this. I'm going to leave this down here so I don't get the shavings everywhere, because I've done that before for sure. Okay, so now my eyeliner's nice and sharp. The other reason you want to do that is it does take off the outer layer of the eyeliner, so you know that you have a fresh, bacteria-free thing for this trend. Okay, so my eyeliner is ready to go. So the other thing that you can do is, if you have really watery eyes like I do, you can actually prep your waterline. Now, we're gonna have it, let's just take a moment. For this trend, okay, there is some pulling on your eye. And I just wanna say that the eye skin is the most delicate skin in your entire body, so you wanna be really gentle with it. And so if you're screaming at this video right now, she's pulling on her eye, I get that. That's why tight lining is not an everyday thing. But you do your eye cream, and it just makes everything go right back to where it needs to be, and we're all good, and it's all great. So, okay, so one of the first things that you're gonna wanna do just to prep your eye for this trend is just take a little Q-tip and just kind of dry off your waterline. And when I say waterline, I don't mean like really deep into your eye. I mean right on that ridge, okay, where the lashes are kind of coming out. So right on the ridge of the waterline. And then in your upper eye, okay, you kind of go like this and just kind of dry that off a little bit. And if you go too far in, it makes your eye water, so don't do that, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take that eyeliner, okay? And again, it's really, really sharp. And you're gonna go right up here. And I'm almost like zhuzhing the lashes. So again, it's not like in my eye on the waterline, it's right on the ridge. And I wanna go in between. So I would recommend, instead of, normally when you do an eyeliner, you think of it like this, but this is like up in your lashes. So it's almost like you're gonna kind of zhuzh it back and forth a little bit up in that ridge line, like this. And so you can do this in short little bursts, especially if you have scaredy eyes like I do. There, see? So it just gives you a little bit of a line, and depending on how bold you want it to be, some of you are probably like, oh my gosh, I already do this with my eyeliner. Okay, good. You're on trend. There. So that's on the top, and then on the bottom, again, you're not gonna go on here. The other thing I just wanna say, this is my PSA about eyeliner on the bottom. I feel like 90% of the world wears it way too thick on the bottom. Okay, the minute your eyeliner starts getting really thick on the bottom, it's gonna just pull your eyes down, and you look off trend, because people today are not wearing really heavy eyeliner, which is why this trend is trending, because it's not super thick and heavy. It's more about making your lash bed looking more full. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing to the bottom. Again, just right on this ridge line, and it's so thin, okay? It does not need to be super thick. Again, it's like I'm zhuzhing the lashes and just giving them a little bit of color. Okay, do you see how thin that is? Now, if you look at the difference right now between my two eyes, it just kind of gives it the illusion. I have super blonde, scary looking eyelashes, so we'll take a look once I have mascara on. But it just gives you that thicker lash bed without making your eye look smaller. So that's step one, is to put the eyeliner on. Now this is a waterproof eyeliner, okay? This is not gonna move. You do not wanna do this trend without a waterproof eyeliner. So make sure you have a really good waterproof eyeliner. These Mary Kay ones are the bomb. You guys, they're the best. I know I'm biased because it's what I do, but it's true. Then if you really want it to stay, another tip that you can do is you can set it with powder. And what that means is taking a powder eyeshadow in a similar color and kind of stamping it over what you just did with that eyeliner. So I'm actually gonna take this color, it's called Cinnabar, and we have this great brush. You can tell it's well loved. This side like brushes out your eyebrows, which you can, this is kind of gross. And then on this side, it's a great, great angled brush. So I'm just gonna take some of the Cinnabar here on this angled brush. And if you're wondering what eyeshadow color to use with that, we have different ones. I like to use a non-shimmer, so Cinnabar is a great color. If you're doing black, we have an eyeshadow called Coal, which is just a matte black. That works really good for this. So again, you're just gonna kind of stamp it in up where you have the eyeliner, and that just kind of gives it a little bit of staying power. Same thing here. There. So now we have that staying power, okay? So stamp that in. And then of course, ladies, mascara, okay? And I love, love, love Mary Kay's new Great Heights mascara. It is fabulous. It's got this, let me show you this, curved wand. So it really gets in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll do my mascara here. Wow! Okay, do you see? I mean, I can't believe how much longer. Maybe it's better if I look back. I might have to take a before and after, pause here and take a quick before and after photo, but it doesn't even look like I'm wearing eyeliner on the top. It just looks like my lashes are definitely more full. So that is the goal to do. So that's kind of fun, isn't it? Now, if you are an oily gal and you're like, oh my gosh, like my makeup ends up here, it's everywhere. One of the tips I would recommend is we have this amazing product. It is called Mary Kay Translucent Loose Powder. It is a clear powder, okay, so it doesn't add any color to anything. Its sole function in life is to absorb oil. So I like to take this brush. This is our, I call it the magic wand, and so whenever I call it that, it's our blending brush. I always forget what it's called because I call it the magic wand because it blends away your eyeshadow, any mistakes that you make in makeup, right? Can't wave it at your husband or something like that. You know, it doesn't work that way. But you can put this around your eye. So what I'm gonna do is I have some of the translucent powder just in the cap. And the reason I like this brush specifically is because it's very poofy. And so it's almost like a mini version of like a huge poofy powder brush that you would use all over your face. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and I just put a little bit right underneath my eye. In fact, I'm even touching my lashes a little bit, and that'll just kind of soak up any oil and shine that might happen. If you have the problem like up here, I'll do a little bit up here too. Preferably you would maybe do this before you put your mascara on in case there's any spillage, then it doesn't end up on your mascara. But you just put stamp a little bit there. It's not gonna affect your eyeshadow because again, it's just clear powder, but it's gonna give you that staying power for this kind of a look, okay? So I definitely recommend that too. Now, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do the other side. You in 2025 have on-trend eyeliner. Give this trend a try. It is so much fun just to elevate your makeup look. And all of the products that I mentioned, you can learn more on my marykay.com website. I will put it in a link in the description so that you can check them out. You can also check out my other resources and videos too. So thanks again. Bye guys.